Good morning dear students. Welcome back to our lesson, that is Fundamental Unit of Life from class 9th Biology. Dear students, last time we have seen the cell theory, discovery of the cell, and first the introductory topic, means what is the cell. Related to that we have talked in the first introductory topic, and then we were looking for the cell discovery, right? And then we have learned for the cell theory. So today we are going to talk about some basic components of the cell. Student, here I would like to know you one interesting thing related to the cell. Do you know, students, how many cells are present in our body? Can anyone guess? You can give me the answer in our problem solving period, right? No, that answer you will not give. I will give you the question that is different. But today, before going ahead, I would like to know you 30 to 40 trillions of cells are present in our body. 30 to 40 trillion. And your question is, you should tell me what is meant by 1 trillion. What I said you students, 30 to 40 trillion cells are present in our body. And your question is, what is meant by 1 trillion? 1 trillion equal to. This is your question. We will have a discussion during PS period on it. Okay? So see, students, we'll go ahead for the basic components of the cell and what is meant by cell. See, students, I said you in first introductory session only, cell is the fundamental unit of life. And cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Why cell is called as the structural and functional unit of life, that I have said you. This is the fundamental, means we can say it's the smallest unit of life. See here students, I would like to know you, see suppose I am organism, right? I am human being, and human being is one kind of animal over here. So what happens, as I am human being, means I am what? Organism. Means what I am? Organism. I am organism, right? If I am organism, if you all are organism, there are various organisms like animals, plants. So these all organisms are made up of organ system. Are made up of organ system. What is meant by organ system? What is meant by organ system? See, suppose I am just now I had my breakfast. So now digestion process has started, right? So digestive system is one kind of organ system, and the components of the digestive system will be the system will be the parts of that organ system, that is digestive system. What can be there? Alimentary canal can be there, esophagus can be there, stomach can be there. So there are very small organs present into the organ system. Say just now I gave example of a digestive system. I can take example of a respiratory system, circulatory system, reproductive system. So various kinds of organ systems are present into the organism. Understood, students? And this organ system is composed of what? Organ system is composed of organ. Okay, there are various organ to form an organ system. Just now I gave example. Suppose if we will talk about digestive system, or suppose if we will talk about the respiratory system, then nostrils, then our lungs, then pharynx, then larynx, or we can say glottis, epiglottis. These are the parts of the respiratory system, right? Or these are the small organs of this respiratory organ system. I hope it is clear for you students. That is organ system means various systems are present in our body, and all those systems are composed of various small organs, okay? And that is called as an organ. How organ is made, students? The organ is made up of similar kind of tissues. The organ is made up of similar kind of tissues, okay? And tissues are made up of what? Cell. Tissues are made up of what? Cell. Okay, so I hope you understand this is an organism. Organism is composed of organ system. Organ system is composed of organ. Organ is composed of tissues, and tissues are composed of cell, and which is the, so only I said you, it's a fundamental unit of life, it is the smallest unit of life, and such small 30 to 40 trillion cells are present into the organism. Okay students, but here one more important thing is that the shape and the structure of the cell is depend on the function it has to perform. There are various shapes of cells are present into the human being. It's not like that only one kind of cells are present, because respiratory system, digestive system, various organ systems are present, and various organ system has to perform a specific function. As it has to perform a specific function, it should have a specific shape and size. So function, according to the function, according to the working, the shape of the cell is depend, or the shape of the cell is designed. Do you understand student? So there are various kinds of shapes and sizes of the cells are present into our body. As we will go in detail, as we will go in the depth of this lesson, I shall let you know what kind of cells are there and what are their functions. Okay, so I would like to move ahead. Okay students, we have knowing, just if someone would tell you to draw the structure of cell, immediately we draw the structure round, right? We draw the structure round. But students, and some middle one part which is of the stained or any of other color. But here the cell do not have any type of color. Cell is always colorless. See, this is also one important thing, that cell is always colorless. It does not have any color. It does not bear any color. Cell is always colorless. It's always colorless. Then why in your textbook it is shown you as a color, just to specify, right? And that can be colored. Even in the laboratory, if I will show you the plant cell, see, whenever students you will come back to the school, I shall let you know about the plant and the animal cell, and you will be easily can be seen under our microscope which is kept in our laboratory. You will get to know how the cell looks like. Okay. So generally we use our chick cell that you have learned last year, and the onion peel cell, okay, that we observe under the microscope. But whenever you had observed that cell under the microscope, you had used some kind of a stain. Specifically the acetocarbon stain is utilized, or in our laboratory maybe safranine is used, right, as a stain particles. That stain is designed to just specify, or to just we can say to show us or to see everybody that particles. So nucleus is little bit colored because nucleus particles are occupied together, means all those components are closer to each other, so we can observe it. So when we observe under the microscope any cell, we can see at the middle this is little colored, and at the side into the cytoplasm there is a less colored, and that is because only we have applied a stain. Otherwise cell do not have any color. Cell is colorless. Okay, so now we will go ahead for the basic structure of the cell. How is the basic structure of cell? Basic structure of cell. So in today's topic we are going to discuss about the basic structure of cell as well as in detail about some components of the cell. Okay, so here cell is not always round, as I said you. Here for showing you, I am showing you the color. This is the at the middle. It is said that okay students. Okay, so this is the outermost structure of the cell, which is called as a cell membrane. Which is called as a cell membrane. It is also called as a plasma membrane. It is also called as a plasma membrane. the outer structure of the cell, which is called as a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. Inside it, if you will have a closer look, you will get to see some fluidy material, and that fluidy material, which is colorless ground material, we can say. That is colorless ground material, which is fluidy in nature. That is called as what? Cytoplasm. That is called what? Cytoplasm. Okay. What are the components of the cytoplasm? See, your students, in my introductory lesson, I said you this is cytoplasm, and into the cytoplasm there are tiny components of the cell, and due to which the unicellular organism can survive, can have all life processes. And those small components of the cytoplasm, or which are suspended into the cytoplasm, because cytoplasm is a fluidy material. So those all components of the cell are suspended into the cytoplasm, are called as what? Cell organelles. It is called as a cell organelles. These cell organelles are playing a very crucial role into the structure of the cell. What are those cell organelles? The important cell organelle is what? Mitochondria. This mitochondria is called as an energy currency of the body. This is called as the energy currency of the body, because energy is stored into the mitochondria in the form of ATP. Breaking down of a glucose into the form of a pyruvic acid, and then pyruvic acid is this pyruvic acid along with oxygen stores into the mitochondria in the form of ATP. So mitochondria is called as the energy currency of the body. Whatever food we eat, that all food we do not utilize in a single day. Some part of the food we utilize, but some part of the food is stored in the form of energy, and that is stored into the mitochondria in the form of ATP. Please student, keep in mind, we are going to study in detail all the cell organelles. But then, okay, this is mitochondria. Then we will have a structure that is called as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then we will have smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. See students, this names may be weird for you, but you should study them in detail, and it's going to be really very easy and crystal clear for all of you if you will watch my video very carefully. Okay, you will not have any doubt. Then you will have ribosomes. Then you will have lysosomes. Then you will have Golgi apparatus, Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. Then you will have perioxisome. Perioxysomes. Later on you will have vacuoles. And if it would be plant cell, then one more important cell organelle would be present, and that is called as very important. This is the VIP organ of a plant cell. Because of each plants can prepare their own food. So it's a VIP cell organelle of the plant cell, and that is called as what? Chloroplast. Okay, if it would be plant cell. See here, students, one more thing I would like to tell you that we have seen that cells are of unicellular and multicellular. What is mean by unicellular? Uni means single. Uni means single. Unicellular means this organism will have only one cell. And if we are talking about multicellular, multi means many. Means this organism is made up of many cells. Okay. At the same time, there is a concept of prokaryotic and eukaryotic. As we will go ahead in the biology, all these terms will be very clear for you, that this is included in this lesson. So I shall let you know what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. See students, if in the biology pro word would come or pre word would come, then it is related with the lower organism. It is related with the very less functional, we cannot say, but these organisms differentiation means the body differentiation of this organism is very less. Okay, such organisms are called as a lower organism. Body differentiation is very less. So such organism into the biology termed as prokaryotic or pre. Pro and pre. Students, when we talk about, means it will be clearer for you to understand. I would like to give an example. That is, we say in our school premises, school is the main component, and its precinct or premises is the surrounding beside the school, right? So that word will come before school, right? So here is also prekaryotic or prokaryotic, means organisms have a very less body differentiation, and these organisms are very lower organisms. So whenever in the biology this word would come, that is prokaryotic and prekaryotic, you should know these organisms are from the lower grades, or this is the lower organism, not advanced or complex organism like us. Okay, so there are two kinds of organisms, prokaryotic. There are two kinds of cells, prokaryotic and the eukaryotic. I hope you have got a properly known to you, that is pro means what or pre means what. So this structure of the cell is not a prokaryotic, because all the cell organelles are properly present. Especially this is an important characteristic of the prokaryotic organism, that cell organelles are absent or very less differentiated, right? So this is the structure of the eukaryotic organism cell. Okay, so this I wanted to tell you, and that I disturb you and I stopped my further flow and I let you know. So these all are the cell organelles. Okay, chloroplast I said you, which is the VIP cell organelle into the plant cell, because we are all together we are talking about eukaryotic. All together means it may be plant cell or it may be animal cell. If chloroplast would be present, then it would have a chloroplast. Still there is a differentiation between the plant cell and animal cell. At that time I shall let you know. But here what would happen, if it would be plant cell, it will be surrounded by one wall, and that is called as a cell wall. Okay, and number of vacuoles into the plant cells are also more. Vacuoles, the number of vacuoles, as I said you here, vacuoles, the vacuoles are less into the animal cell, but such vacuoles are more into the plant cell. Why it is so, that I shall let you know very soon. Okay, just have in a bit I shall let you know. Okay, and the chloroplast is present. Chloroplast is a structure which contains pigment that are called as a chlorophyll, and the chlorophyll pigment have an affinity for the sunlight to have a photosynthesis process. Okay, very soon we will learn all these things. I hope you understand this basic structure. Okay, sorry, very sorry. There is one structure that I have forgotten. That is what? Nucleus. This is what? Nucleus, student. And this nucleus is surrounded by what? Nuclear membrane. This is also nuclear membrane. Okay, students, about the nucleus we will learn later. There will be a separate lecture on the nucleus itself. So here it's just an introductory this basic structure of the cell. So when I shall go in detail, when I will zoom it, just imagine this is your body, this is the organ system, then organ then tissue, then cell. We are still zooming, and when we will zoom at last we will see for the nucleus. Okay, so this is all about nucleus, and you can see this thread like material into the nucleus, that is called as a chromatin fiber. What it is called? Chromatin fiber. And you can see this is the dark color, that is called as a nucleolus. Nucleolus. You'll get to know in detail everything. Okay, when I will go for the nucleus. So this is all about the basic structure of the cell. Today we are going to talk about one important structure of the cell, that is called as the cell membrane and cell wall. Okay. Again, here I would like to draw a small diagram again to explain you. Nucleus, Okay, here is the cytoplasm. Okay, this is nucleus, and after cytoplasm, that is called as what? That is called as cell membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay. So now today we are going to have discussion on cell membrane and cell wall. Okay, cell membrane. If you will have a closer look towards the structure of it, if you will see, then this structure, it separates the structure first. It separates the inner cytoplasm and surrounding. Means what, student? It's the first structure. Means it's the first point of the structure. This is the cell membrane. Inside it cytoplasm is there. Outside surrounding membrane is. So cell membrane separates cytoplasm and surrounding membrane. This is the first point of this structure. Okay, first point. Second point is that it is very thin. It is very, very thin. It's flexible. It is flexible too. It is very thin and flexible. Third, which is really very important for this cell membrane, that it's a semi-permeable. It's a semi-permeable or selectively permeable. It is selectively permeable or semi-permeable. Fourth is, it is living membrane. It's not a non-living. It's a living membrane. It's a living membrane. Okay, students. So this is the structure. It separates the inner cytoplasm and surrounding. It's very thin and flexible. It's a semi-permeable or selectively permeable. It is a living membrane. Okay, and one important is it is porous. It is porous. Means what, students? Porous means what? It has a small hole on it. It has a small hole on it. The fine spores are present on it. Fine spores are present on it. Pores means what? Holes. Small holes are present on the holes. Will you get, student? It separates the inner cytoplasm and surrounding. It's very thin and flexible. It's semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane. Living membrane, it's a living membrane. 50, it is porous and have a fine pores or small holes on the cell membrane. This is all about the structure of the cell membrane. What function it has to perform? According to the structure, it has to perform a specific function. See, students, you can pause it, you can take a screenshot, or you can write down the structure of this cell membrane in your notebook. Okay, point wise you may mention the structure. Understood? So I shall rub it now and I shall write about the function it has to perform. What function cell membrane has to perform? As it separates the surrounding environment and the cell, means it is protective. It gives the protection for the animal cell. Why not plant cell? That I shall talk to you later. Okay? It gives protection. It gives protection to animal cell. Animal cell only it gives the protection. Okay? Later on, and it has a small pores on it. It allows the entry and exit of only particular material. Okay, it regulates, or we can say it allows the entry, or it can regulate the entry and even exit of the particular material inside and outside of the cell as per the need of the cell. What do you get from? See, suppose if this is the animal cell, if I am talking about, this is animal cell. This is animal cell. This is not a plant cell. This is animal cell. This is animal cell. Now, if it is animal cell, means what it would require for the respiration process? It would require definitely oxygen. And what the cell will get rid of? It will get rid of carbon dioxide for sure, because it is animal cell. So, it will allow the entry of only oxygen into the cell by the process of diffusion. What is meant by diffusion? What is meant by osmosis? Very soon, everything we are going to learn. Okay, in a bit we are going to learn. Right? So, it will allow to enter only oxygen inside, and it will allow to exit for only carbon dioxide, because it is not needed, student. It is not needed for the plant, carbon dioxide. So, carbon dioxide will go out and oxygen will come inside by the process of diffusion. Okay, by the process of diffusion. At the same time, as this is a living cell, this is a living animal cell, it requires some specific kind of nutrients, right, to survive. For the every animal, some specific nutrients are needed, which are getting absorbed by the small intestine. Okay, and those specific nutrients are taken in through the cell membrane by a small pore. So whatever material it is needed, right, whatever material it is needed, it will be taken in by the cell membrane, by the fine pores of the cell membrane. At the same time, there are some toxins, there are some drugs which are present into the cell. The cell will get rid of by the same process, and that process means the movement of the particle from the high concentration to the low concentration. Actually, it will not enter the solid particles directly. That because cell is too small, right? It's a microscopic. So cell is too small, so that it will not allow the entry of the particles which are solid. Those particles will dissolve into the water. Blood is present in the liquid form, so that particles would dissolve into the water present into the blood, and through water the particles would get inside. At the same time, the particles which we do not need go outside by the cell membrane. Okay, and that process is called as the osmosis. Means it regulates the entry and exit of some ions and solutes by the process of diffusion and osmosis. Do you understand? It's a very important function performed by the cell membrane into the animal cell. Okay, into the plant cell also. Now, what will be the third advantage? It gives the shape and structure or a form to the cell. See, students, animal cell is actually means we can talk about the animals. Animals are in need a lot of energy, and that energy they are taking by the food, by the nutrients they are acquiring, as well as they are moving from one place to another place, right? Locomotion process is taking place for them. So their means outer cell, means skin, if you will talk about their skin, they don't have to much care about it. If any problem would occur, they can enter, because they have a locomotory organs. They can take a help of any shade and they can enter in it. So that we are having houses, no? We are living in houses. Our dwelling place is our house. Why do we need it to save, to protect ourselves from extreme sun, extreme heat, extreme cold, right? So because we are locomotory, we can move inside. But what about the plants? Plants cannot move anywhere, and plants' energy demand is also less. So plant structure is different, that I shall let you know later on. So the shape, to acquire the shape to the animal cell, this role is performed by the cell membrane. Okay, so it gives, sorry students, it gives specific, it gives the shape and form to the animals. Otherwise, animals, we have a skeleton in our body, and because of the skeleton, means our body is protective in nature. The skeleton is present inside, so we don't need extra from outside by the cell membrane, because we are locomotive, we are higher organism, we don't need it. Energy demand is also high, so that they all are the functions. That is what it gives a protection to the animal cell. It regulates the entry and exit of some ions and solutes by the process of diffusion and osmosis, and it gives a proper shape and form to the animal. Okay, so this is all about the function of the cell membrane. Now I'll go ahead. See students, if you will talk about the cell, and if you will just take this portion only of the cell membrane, this portion of the cell membrane, and if you will try to observe under the high definition of microscope, then we will be able to observe structure. This is not in your syllabus, but then too I would like to know you, like the structure would get formed. The structure is developed by some scientist, and the structure is developed by some scientist. Okay, if you will have a closer look, then this structure is called as what? Lipoprotein. The structure is called as what? Lipoprotein. Okay students, and this, you can see, bilayer, ball like structure is present. This is called as a phospholipid bilayer. Okay, phospholipid bilayer. This structure is called as a phospholipid bilayer. So this is protein. Proteins are present into the cell membrane, we can see, and this structure is called as a phospholipid, and these two layers are combined together by the lipoprotein. Why it is called as a lipoprotein? Because lipids and proteins are together. This cell membrane is completely made up of lipoprotein. Okay, lipoprotein means what? These are lipids and this is proteins. Then this membrane is composed of lipids and protein. Lipids means fat molecule. Okay, so lipids and proteins it is made up of. This is called as a structure of the cell membrane, which is composed of it. Okay, and these molecules are called as a phospholipid bilayer, because two layers are present in it. Okay, so this is all about the structure of the cell membrane and the function it has to perform, and the structure of it. Okay, so I hope you understand the concept of the cell, what are the functions of the cell, as well as what are the components of the cell, what is the role of a cell membrane in it. Okay, in next class we will discuss about the cell wall. Thank you very much.